Stop feeling secure with your understanding of universal history as if everything were final. According to the scientific logic we've studied for decades, the Big Bang was a starting point, where everything exploded, cooled down, and slowly formed the first stars, followed trillions of years later by large mature galaxies. We had a neat timeline. But early last year, a $10 billion giant camera named the James Webb Space Telescope just sent back photos that make physicists want to flip their desks. James Webb looked deep into the past, right at the early moments after the Big Bang, and what did it find? It didn't find messy baby galaxies, it found giant, mature galaxies, complete with billions of stars and perfect structures. Logically, this is like opening your baby photo album, but on the first page you find a photo of yourself already bearded and wearing a full suit. Something here is a chronological error. Today, we will dissect 9 anomalies or impossible galaxies found by James Webb that have the potential to shatter the Big Bang theory as we know it. We will see how this new observational hardware exposes the systemic lies of old theories. Prepare your critical logic. Let's break them down one by one. Universe breaker galaxies, the early maturity protocol. We begin with the first 6 galaxies that shook the world, dubbed by scientists as universe breakers. These galaxies were found existing only 500 to 700 million years after the Big Bang. The problem? Their mass is incredibly massive, equivalent to our Milky Way, which took 13 billion years to grow. Logically, this is a chronological bug. How is it possible for an object to have reached maximum mass when the universal server had just been turned on? This proves that the process of matter formation at the dawn of time ran much faster than what our current mathematics can explain. These galaxies challenge our logic. Did we miscalculate the age of the universe, or does the universe have a way to copy-paste matter on a massive scale at the beginning of time? Oversized dimensions, the logic-defying growth protocol. The second step is the anomaly of their size. These galaxies found by James Webb are not just dense, but physically too large for that era. Based on the most advanced computer simulations we have, gas in the early universe didn't have enough time to cool down and gather into structures that large in such a short period. The logic is hardware capability. This is like buying a potato spec PC, but suddenly it can run the heaviest games smoothly. There is another force, or law of physics we don't know yet, that accelerated the gathering of matter. Your POV, now, you look out into space and realize that this machine of creation actually has a rendering speed thousands of times faster than we estimated. Impossible distances, the vision boundary protocol. James Webb was designed to see objects that are extremely faint and far away. However, these impossible galaxies were found in a region we consider the edge of time. Their distance is so far that their light takes over 10 billion years to reach James Webb sensors. The logic is maximum redshift. The further a galaxy is, the more its light stretches towards the red. James Webb found galaxies with record-breaking redshift numbers. Your POV, you're looking down a very long hallway and you find an object at the very end that theoretically should be invisible because its light has stretched too thin. These galaxies are ghosts of the past whose existence challenge the limits of our vision. Cosmic carbon dating, the corrupted time sensor protocol. How do scientists know a galaxy is impossible? Through an instrument called spectroscopy, or what Synaptic calls a chemical audit. They look at the light spectrum of the galaxy and observe its elemental composition. They found that these early galaxies already contain heavy elements like metals. The logic is the alchemy paradox. Heavy elements can only be created inside the hearts of stars that have already died and exploded. So if early galaxies already have a lot of metal, it means there was already a generation of stars that lived and died before those galaxies formed. But there wasn't enough time. This is a glitch in our dating system. James Webb proves that our cosmic clock might be running wrong all this time. JWST's infrared vision, the hidden hand vision protocol. Why didn't old telescopes like Hubble find this? Because Hubble sees visible light, while James Webb sees infrared. Those early galaxies are moving away so fast that their light shifts into the infrared, which is invisible to the human eye. The logic is a sensor upgrade. James Webb is thermal imaging for the universe. Once this sensor was turned on, we realized that in the darkness we thought was empty, it was actually full of giant galaxies that have been standing right in front of our nose all along, but we just couldn't see them. Cosmological Crisis, the Standard Theory Failure Protocol. These discoveries triggered what scientists call the Cosmological Crisis. The standard LCDM model, which has been the holy book of astronomy, is under threat of collapse. This theory cannot explain why such large galaxies can exist so quickly. The logic is a systemic error. If the data, JWST, doesn't match the theory, then the theory is what needs to be replaced, not the data. We are at a moment where our software explanation of the universe is outdated and can no longer process new data. James Webb forces us to search for a new algorithm for how this universe began. Dark matter theory, the weak glue protocol. Dark matter has long been considered the glue that pulls gas to become galaxies, but with the existence of James Webb's giant galaxies, our logic of dark matter becomes problematic. We need far more dark matter than what exists in the theory to pull gas that fast. The logic is a resource deficit. Our matter budget isn't enough to build a building that large overnight. Is there another force assisting the gravitational pull? Or does dark matter have properties far more aggressive than we estimated? These impossible galaxies prove that we do not understand what the glue is that maintains universal order. Early universal structure, the order in chaos protocol. Many of these impossible galaxies are very neatly shaped, like beautiful spiral disks. Logically, early galaxies should be messy because they were still frequently colliding and unstable. The logic is a stability glitch. This is like seeing a city that was just built an hour ago, but the urban planning is already neat. The roads are paved and all the lights are on. James Webb proves that order appeared much earlier than chaos in the universe. Our universe seems to have a very sophisticated auto-layout protocol from the very first second. The future of creation theory, the new paradigm protocol. Lastly, what does this mean for the future? We might have to accept that the Big Bang might not be the only answer, or at least the Big Bang we know is very wrong regarding timing. Some scientists are starting to talk about a universe older than 13.8 billion years, or even a universe without a beginning. The logic is a paradigm shift. We are witnessing the collapse of a major dogma. Your POV, you realize that human knowledge is just a constantly changing draft. James Webb's impossible galaxies are a reminder that reality is far more mysterious and grand than what can be written in your school textbooks. So, what is the common thread of James Webb's impossible galaxies? Logically, we've just realized that we are looking at a version of the universe far more advanced than we imagined. All these anomalies show that the universe's operating system has incredible efficiency. It is capable of creating giant structures in a short time. James Webb didn't just find new objects, it found errors in our way of thinking. Universe breakers prove chronological failure. Metal spectrums prove the failure of stellar evolution timing. Spiral structures prove premature maturity. We are often trapped in the arrogance that we understand the workings of the origin, but a single telescope is enough to tear down all the theories we've built for 100 years. This is a reminder that in the presence of cosmic wonders, our logic must always be humble and ready for a system update at any time. So that was the logic breakdown of the 9 impossible galaxies found by James Webb and how they've left the world's scientists utterly baffled. Now you understand, don't you, that astronomy isn't just about looking at pretty stars, but about being a time detective, looking for errors in the narrative of our universe's history. So in your opinion, have we indeed miscalculated the age of the universe, or could James Webb's photos be proof that our world is indeed a simulation with a few visual bugs? Write your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss using the logic of the origin. Thank you for watching till the end. If you like how we explain complex things to make them make more sense, don't forget to follow Synaptic. We will continue to discuss many everyday things that are actually fascinating, as long as they're explained the right way. Synaptic, the world simplified, one thought at a time.